So I'm waiting for the 1 hour candle to close. It is left with about 26 minutes for me to decide if I should take sales on this Euro USD trade. As you can see, I'm looking at the head and shoulder pattern forming at a key resistance level, and actually it makes more sense if you switch to the 30-minute time frame right here. You see, that is what I'm waiting to see how it plays out, but that is not why we are here. In this video I want to show you guys a trade that we took on AUD card yesterday, and then we break it out. What was the analysis, what was the technicals, all that good stuff. And if you are interested in such content, please subscribe to the channel, turn on that like button, and come in the comment section to tell me how do you find the videos so far. So without further ado, let's get started. Well, as you all guys can see that this market was trending downward. Why? Because we have the market forming a series of high points and higher lows, because this low is lower than the most previous low, and it comes up from a higher low, lower low, like lower low, higher low, lower low, higher low. But when this market came back this level right here of the parallel trend line, we had a formation at this point, which if you zoom into details and see this point right here, you will see that this downward trend like this was a minor retracement in a bigger upward move. Because if you add this trend line to this level, it makes sense that probably at this point, if we get a confirmation, it is likely for the market to continue upward. Why do we expect that? We can only know if we actually go and dig into that particular level, like right here, to see the in-depth details, what this market was forming at this trend line we have just seen, and why later on I was confident that probably if I take a trade at this point, the odds might be stuck in my favor. So if you see that this market, as it was coming down, it started to change the way the candles behaved. Did not come straight tanking. It started hesitating a little bit, and then later on you're going to find that the kind of pattern and structure it was forming as it was going down is not the same as it was right here. You start to see that there was a kind of a fight between buyers and sellers, because you see previously that formed low points, lower high, lower low, which are significant. But as it reached here, started performing points that are so almost close to each other as a symbolization, the price action language, that as sellers are coming in, also are buyers. But that is probably because the market had approached this level right here, which has been pushing every time it reached around there. And also, if you see, we have not one, we have another level right here that makes sense if you combine these levels. And right here we also have a level from down, which means this point right here was a junction point. And now you look at this point of the candle, this one and this one that went up, and tell that down below we have something that looks like unequal low. Precisely, not just an equal low. It is a point that shows if you dig into details, then probably we have a pattern around here. And how do we see these patterns? Let's go to the lower time frame to try and see into details what we have in this area. So with my naked eyes, I see that this market tried to go down right here, try to go up, try to go up, try to go up, still respecting this downward move. But on this candle, as it came right here on this candle, buyers still stepped in to push the market up. On this candle round here, you don't see that buyers tried to take the market. Sellers tried to take the market down, but failed to break the most recent swing low around here. And right away, the sellers stepped in and pushed this market even past this candlestick around here. Meaning, this market, if we choose to dig even on the lowest time frames, it tells us that around this point here, this market had kind of shifted its bias. We have a double bottom, but this time around, this is not just a random double bottom, guys. Look into details. We have a double bottom that has a leg slanted to the upside, meaning possibilities are buyers are now in more control than the sellers. And what happened after right there? The next candle comes in bullish completely, and a few sellers try to kick in to push this market down, but because we have no wick at all, it means the momentum at this point had completely shifted. And what happened next was a break of this trend line that was pushing this market downward every time it approached it. So break of this neckline to the downside means that indeed we had seen a change of this market bias. But then I was looking for ways where to take entry, because break of neckline of this double bottom was not satisfying enough. So I let this market go. I could not get an entry around this point. But later on in the day, this market came and retested perfectly, textbook structure, retested the neckline. So at this point, it was all clean and evident. So if you see that I took this trade on break and retest, but what was the break? Was break of the trend line to the downside, was after seeing a pattern form at a key support zone, not just a support zone, but like a junction point, a point that has been pushing the market up, which indeed did push the market right here, and then came back to retest. And if you go to the 1 hour time frame, you're going to notice that I actually entered around somewhere on this candle as it was forming, like showing me that it had potential to go up. And as much as it played around later on, but momentum came and kicked in, and as you can see, the trade went to a straight 1:2 risk to reward ratio, profiting almost 2,000 pips in profit. So after getting this confirmation and deciding that it was worth taking the buy here, as always, we have to go to even higher time frames to know that as we are interested in buys, we are not going to be buying into resistance, which on the higher time frame you see 4 hour time frame that it was a clean zone, clean tradable zone. On the daily time frame, in this video you will see that it is the same thing I always say. Look at the kind of candle we have. I've told you multiple times that when I'm looking at the daily time frame, in as much as I put price action into consideration, my most priority on the daily time frame is the behavior of the candles, or particularly the day when I'm trading, or if I go back a lot, the day before, like the kind of candle that we had the previous day. But in this scenario, we had a beautiful bullish candle on the day, meaning that on that particular day, why am I saying this? This is too much of price action to put into consideration as a day trader, because we are in the market hours, 2 or 3, maximum 4. If it has already consolidated, that's when we go into the trade for the next day or something like that anyhow. But if the aim was to day trade, it is only the market that somehow turns day traders into swing traders. But regardless, the structure on the daily time frame was beautiful. So coming back to the 30-minute where we actually started from, we're going to tell you that that was the kind of analysis, that was the price action to why do this trade right here. So that is it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have learned a thing or two. Oh, please come in the comment section and tell me if you saw such a market behavior, would you be interested in taking this buy, or how best could you have traded this pattern right here, or this market given the circumstances? My name is Osida Bonchild. I'll be seeing you in another video, but until then, happy trading. Bye bye.